like, man, I got this, yeah.
The Grands, the oldest championship in our beloved sport of bicycle motocross. It's the place where dreams can come true and where legends are made. It brings out the best racers and puts them on the greatest test. Will you make it through the gauntlet? Will you be standing victorious? Welcome to the USABMX Grand National, the greatest race on earth.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, want to welcome each and every one of you fine human beings to Chris's Corner. No, we are not coming to you from DeSoto BMX under the Big Top in DeSoto, Texas. We are at the USA BMX Grands, Tulsa, Oklahoma, 2018. Yeah.
It's 18, by the way.
Did I say 18?
You said 19.
19? Dude,
I thought he said 18, but I'll tell you what.
But I think I'm trying to get to next year.
We're not under the big top, but we are under the bright lights.
Under the bright lights at the Grands.
And the biggest top.
You guys are cheating. I don't have my sunglasses.
We've got this awesome, beautiful view of the track. The USA BMX was kind enough to let us use the stage and kind of get propped up here. I mean, I feel like a movie star or whatever, a BMX star.
It's kind of awesome with everybody walking by just looking at us like we're Eric Grindle and Tyler Brown, and we're not.
Yes.
we can pretend.
So
he's definitely going to keep going over there, isn't he?
I think he'll slow down here.
Great timing. But, hey, no, it's perfectly fine. Ladies and gentlemen, want to thank my co-host, my ride or die with this whole Chris's Corner venture, Mr. Blaine Graham. Thank you so much.
Absolutely,
for having my back the way you do, and you're just an awesome human being.
I've never been anybody's ride or die. I feel pretty good right now.
That's my ride or die.
don't tell his wife.
Yeah.
Well, I was trying to say that low enough she couldn't hear it. We have a super special guest, somebody that I've been wanting to have on the show for about a year and a half now. That we've been doing it on regular Chris's Corner. We're just never in the same place at the same time. You've got a huge career. You're with one of the biggest companies in BMX, one of the most awesome pro series that go down. Ladies and gentlemen, TJ Johnson from Tangent and the Tangent Pro-Am series. I'm sure you heard his name. You've seen their post, him and Richard Pelton from Tangent out in California, always throwing down. They're always at all the, big events, and there's always something going on with Tangent. If you need bike parts, gear, bars, hats, shirts, it doesn't matter. Y'all got it on lock.
We got everything, man. We try to help everybody out and make everybody look good.
Well, we greatly appreciate you coming on the show, and I'm super excited to get a chance to just talk to you for a minute and kind of fill out what's going on with Tangent, yourself, and kind of your history, and people that may not know or ever heard your name before kind of get an understanding, the history and what BMX means to you.
Yeah, I try to hide low and not be front. I'm not really a front man. Everybody thinks I am. I try to hide in the back, but Rich does that a little better than I do. But just like we were talking earlier, this is literally my 30th year at the Grands. I missed one.
30th year. So do you walk by the posters up there and go look at all the tracks and remember every year?
I was doing that there on the way down here, and of course I just got out of the trailer for the first time since I've been here Tuesday, and I saw that and I was like, stopped for a minute, and I was like, I don't think that track's right. I think they got the years wrong on one of them, but I'm not going to call them out too bad till I look at them closer.
How many of those did you race?
Oh, racing. Oh, let's see. I can say I did 88 to 98 straight, so that was 10. Skipped 98. Did from 99 2000 to 2005 or 6. And then, I haven't raced one since. I've just been here working.
Nice. Well, I mean, you've got a history. I mean, you know what products you're selling. You know what has to be sold. And when you put a product in somebody's hand, or somebody comes up, doesn't have the information, you know what to make sure that they're riding away with is going to help them and benefit them.
Absolutely. We work hard over there trying to be the most honest bike shop out there. We don't push product. We really try to inform the riders, the parents, try to get them what they need, not necessarily what they want, what they need. The only thing you can't ask me is gear ratios. I gave up on that when Comp 3s went out of style. This whole every tire is a different size, these decimal gears, I literally just look at a parent and tell them to figure it out.
Yeah.
I do give them one piece of advice, and I tell them they will own every gear there is by the time they get out of this sport. And, most of those parents come to me about 2 years later and tell me I'm right.
I'm just thinking about all the ones I have in my toolbox. I know I got a lot. I got all the decimal gears.
You're talking to the right man. Maybe you could kind of sell those back, get a little store credit. You never know.
Oh, yeah. No, we do all brand new stuff. Too much liability in that used stuff.
I don't want to.
Well, we were talking earlier. You're involved in the actual development of the new products, right?
Yes. I do most of the. I don't do necessarily the design, the sticker kits, or what the graphics are going to look like, but the actual hard part of it, I am in control of most of that. From the get-go, obviously taking riders' ideas of what they want, how they want it, and creating that into the product that you see out there. Most of our stuff goes through at least 2 years of prototyping before it's actually to the public and ready for them. Our original split stem, a good example, it's still one of the hottest sellers. That stem was designed for Mikey Day at the 2012 Olympics. And nobody saw it until 2014.
So let me ask a quick question on that. So let's say something comes to, an idea comes to fruition, and you actually start making something. You got to test it and get it out there. When it comes to testing those products, who does that? How do you get that information and the feedback? Who actually rides it?
So testing, we, compared to most companies out there, we actually go through a hard test first, just by machine, having it broken, seeing where it breaks out with a machine. Once we feel satisfactory with that, we do have we have our own team for it, and then we do have, depending on what the part was designed for, it will go to that type of a rider. We do have a call it a secret society that we give our parts to.
Yeah,
we know who destroys parts on a daily basis, who doesn't. There's some riders that are just so gentle on a bike, aka Riley Stair. You could give him anything and it would last for 5 years.
Yeah,
he's just gentle. Nick Adams, that kid destroys everything in a month. Back in the day when Kalen Young raced, if you got something to last a month, it was ready to go out on the market. That guy destroyed everything, and it wasn't like just twist it here and there. It was broken.
Well, it's good to hear that there's other ones out there other than my son that breaks bikes all the time.
Oh man, I was a test pilot for a lot of companies back in the day. Casey remembers Hawk, and when Answer first started, I was one of their test pilots, and I think I still hold the record for the Hawk bikes. I think I broke 24 of them.
Good Lord.
Never broke a fork, which was always their worst part, but did break the frames, a lot of them.
So do you guys ever, with all that testing and everything, have you ever had a part that, it came to fabrication, went out to testing, and you just said it ain't going to make it?
No.
They all pretty much get.
They've all made it. Whether or not they've made it through the cool factor and stuck around, that might be a different. But everything's made it into production, gone through our original X-Lock stem. The thing weighed 16 ounces, so that didn't last long. Nobody wanted something that was a pound.
Yeah.
On the front of their bike, and that wasn't a fork.
Yeah.
We went to the X2 and then eventually to the split stem. Now we got the front load split stem, but the split stem's 10 ounces, so we're able to knock some weight off. And some stuff doesn't stick around long, but it does make it. We've never really had any catastrophics. We've had some little design tweaks, some small stuff, but nothing that you're like, oh my God, we gotta be done.
Well, you had something pretty cool the other day. My boy and I came by yesterday, said hello to you, and he said, hey, Chris, you want to be the first one to see something? I was like, absolutely, I'd love to be the first. And, man, you broke out 2 sets of these phenomenal-looking, fully 100% carbon handlebars that Tangent has.
Yeah, no, that we've been wanting to start the carbon revolution, as we call it, for Tangent. We wanted to do some research, do some more stuff, so we grabbed, pretty much everybody's handlebars. We own a bike shop, so we bought up some bars, looked at everybody's. Obviously, we've seen where they break, where they don't, what causes them to break. Sent theirs over to be tested, and talked to our factories, and we were like, hey, we've got to beat these. Like, I don't want to be secondhand to any of them. We got to beat them. And our designer is one of the best designers. I won't say his name so other people don't go to him. But he's been designing our stuff from day one as far as design goes. And, yeah, they just look like something that goes on an airplane. They're amazing.
They're cool.
They're sleek. And they surpassed they got a drop test that they put everybody's through before they got put on bikes. Everybody else's broke at about 6 feet with 180 pounds on them. Ours went all the way through the test. They couldn't break them. We actually gave them to a rider to ride after the testing. And they're still on his bike.
Wow. Nice. Well, I mean, they were super cool. The design on it, they didn't weigh anything.
No. Be honest, I haven't even weighed them.
I don't think there's anything to weigh.
Just thinking about that, the whole BMX world is moving to carbon, right? I mean, you got full carbon bikes, carbon wheels. I mean, the whole thing is going to be carbon pretty soon.
Yeah, carbon's here to stay. It's kind of like disc brakes. Disc brakes came and went. I think they're finally here to stay. They might not be huge yet, but they're going to stay. Carbon, it's same thing. It's expensive. I don't know if it'll be, ever in the price point where everybody can afford it, but it's gonna be here as a mainstay for sure.
Well, man, get on down to Tangent. They're set up here at the USABMX Grants, 2018, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Got to move on to talking a little bit of future, because I know I think earlier I made
you're just giddy over here.
Oh man, I'm beside myself. I had thrown some stuff out on Chris's corner kind of at the beginning of the year, and we started hearing a little bit about this Tangent Pro-Am series that's going on. It was up in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
They had a big $15,000. Actually, was it more than 15?
No. Well, it was a little bit over. We ended up doing some cool amateur incentives. It was like, I'll call it 16 by the time it was all said and done.
Okay. $16,000.
Yeah, it was 10 for the men, 5 for the women, and like I said, I think with that other 1,000, we did some incentives for the amateurs.
Nice.
Because obviously, I mean, when you're talking that big cash, the big boys are coming out.
Yes.
And it's making it hard for the amateurs, and we just want the amateurs to have fun and get to race their favorite pros per se, but at the same time, they want something out of it. You don't want to just get up there and do it for nothing.
Well,
there's a lot to be said for that, though. I mean, just getting on the gate with their favorite pros. Like, when my son turned 15, he was like, I'll race every Pro-Am I can. I know I'm not going to make it, but just to get in the gate with guys that they look up to, that's a big thing.
Absolutely.
And, we're kind of spoiled because we do the whole it turned into a whole California series this year, but they get to see their pros a little bit more, and by the 4th or 5th one, they've like, oh, I raced my favorite pro already, so what do I do now?
The reason we brought this up is 2019. We don't have a firm date on our state championship. whether it's going to be, that towards that end of August, 1st September kind of, but I believe my bride kind of threw out August, so I'm sure that's where she's going to end up throwing it on the calendar because yes, I am the operator, but she is the boss.
Exactly.
So whatever she tells me I can do is what we're going to do.
Happy wife, happy life, right?
We are sure excited to throw out right now, we will have the Tangent Pro-Am Series, DeSoto BMX under the big top, DeSoto, Texas. You're coming back home for one of the biggest Pro-Am races and pro races that's ever happened at DeSoto BMX. We are going to make it happen. We will surpass $16,000 at DeSoto BMX under the big top, DeSoto, Texas, 2019, 20th anniversary of that track. We will do the biggest pro race that has ever happened in the state of Texas at DeSoto. And I'm going to tell you right now, 16,000 is the absolute minimum it will be. I'm shooting for 20. I'm going for 20 grand. That's where I'm going to put my money in my mouth, is at $20,000.
Man.
Well, we were talking down there earlier. So at the last Pro-Am you guys had at this state championship,
yes,
it started out, where did we start at?
We started at like $40.
And within a moto, we were up to $5,000. Or within one round of motos, we were up to $5,000.
It was stupid.
That's crazy.
It was stupid.
And what that shows, one, you guys put on an awesome program. Two, is everybody wants to see those pros. You'll get the complainers out there. Oh, nobody wants to see the pros, this and that. And then when you bring them to it, they really do want to see it.
They all flock in.
They flock in, and pros really do sell stuff, and they sell events. That's what these kids are all looking up to. You think they want to just do it because their best friend does it? Well, everybody looks up to everybody.
We're at the point now where the pros actually, the ones that are starting to hear, the old style, we were way too steep. Our gate wasn't what they were riding and all this. We're at 15 degrees. We got Quentin Groom from Pro Start to come in, throw in a brand new gate. We got the gate situation set up. I got pros actually training on that gate now because we can get the timing and the lighting the way that they need it for what they're going to go to these supercross tracks. Yeah, we are a regional national track, but they can get on that starting hill, that starting gate, and they can throw down and start improving their times. And what we're about to do with the turns, oh my God, they're going to be on point. They're going to be the best turns in BMX. So we're going to sit there. You're going to be able to come out of that gate, hit some turns, full blast, full speed. The track is going to be on absolute point, and we're trying to make the facility better, but it will be the biggest pro race that's ever happened, and I'm super excited that TJ Johnson from Tangent, you and Richard, the whole crew. I'm hoping to have Eric Grindle from USABMX come out and announce. Oh my goodness. And that's where I geek out. Yes, I love the riders and the pros. We have Billy Russell, Shaylin Reno, and I'm blessed where I get to hang out with them and see them on a daily basis. But it's the announcer, it's the people that show up and put on the show. For me personally, I love the relationships and all that. But when it comes to somebody like, whether it's, hey, maybe Riley could show up for that special race, and Grindle and Riley at that. But whatever. I mean, we're gonna have Eric Grindle and the whole Tangent crew, Richard Pelton, TJ Johnson. It does not get any bigger than that, especially for DeSoto BMX. So I'm just excited that you allowed me to put that out there, and y'all would even be attached to DeSoto BMX this way, because I'm pumped. We got our Super National April 5th, 6th, and 7th. So we're going to throw down on that Super National, and then it's all out for the Tangent Pro Series race. Tangent. We're going to call it a Tangent Super Pro race at DeSoto BMX.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. I'm excited. Yeah. Just being right there in the center of the United States, being somewhere that all the pros already know. We went to Wisconsin, badass facility. It was amazing. They did an awesome job. But we're going to a track that they all know now.
Yes.
So they know what to expect. They know what they're coming in for. It's actually an easy airport to get into, unlike Wisconsin was. So.
We got Love Field, DFW.
Yeah, you got everything. It's easy. We're gonna work out that schedule where they're not. Oh, we got a race next week. We'll get it dialed in. There's gonna be no excuse for them to skip out on it.
And that's what we'll do when it comes to setting that. And I'm assuming this is gonna be a Saturday. We'll throw this down.
No, we do it on your state final day.
It's Sunday.
We don't play around, dude. It goes for the big show.
Oh. Okay.
There you go.
I just got a little more excited, a little bit grayer. Unbelievable. Okay, Sunday, state championship day, DeSoto BMX under Big Top, DeSoto, Texas, Tangent Pro Super Pro race going down. Oh my goodness. This is gonna be badass.
Yeah, we we've got our whole system. We run our own point system. We run our own computer. Jason Titolman does that for us all. So you guys don't have to do anything with it as far as other than finish figuring out some times and stuff. So you're allowed to be able to run this big, huge 120 moto race that you guys always have and not have to stress, not have to worry about getting the kids out early and this and that. Just like you guys run like clockwork. We work with you guys and just tell you where we're going to plug in.
Nice.
We have, like I said, we do our own scoring. We do our own computer system, point system, our own award system. So, yeah, it's kind of hands-off. I mean,
Dang.
other than all the prep work you got to do.
Oh, man, that's hey, but when it comes to that prep work, I'm going to tell you right now, between Blaine, Philip Gomez, Donnie Giray sitting down there, my son Blaine, my daughter Britlin, my lovely bride Casey, Texas BMX Hall of Famer, been in this sport for 34 years. The cool part of that is that prep work is the fun work.
Yeah,
because we know what the end product is, and that's memories. So, in my volunteer crew, everybody that volunteers at DeSoto BMX for the most part is out here volunteering on this track. Marvin McCoy hasn't been around of late, but he's been phenomenal at getting that track work done and the track ready. Love Marvin McCoy. He's kind of taking a little hiatus. But Don Summers, I don't know if you know that man.
Yep.
Don Summers is at if he's not with the USABMX somewhere, he's at DeSoto. And he's got a broom in his hand, a shovel in his hand. He's doing something. Albert Pappy Patterson, he's always throwing down, making it happen. And we just have a slew of people that are going to help us get that track ready. And this is just going to excite everybody. And, God, I'm excited.
Hey, speaking of something else that goes on to your state finals, the first time I get to go do something is the Texas Hall of Fame. I've been told to come out to it, but I'm always doing our state final in California.
I'm
so I get to go to it finally.
I'm going to tell you right now.
And I might be a little giddy.
It is a super event that happens where, Porter Gibbons with the Texas BMX Hall of Fame. Him and Mark Summers and all them guys put that thing together. Porter Gibbons is heading everything up. Absolutely phenomenal human being. He's been involved. You know Porter from way back.
Way back.
He was out there before we were born. But Porter, the program he's put together, he calls me up sometimes and we discuss a few things, and it's all his ideas. Everything's his idea. But just talking to him, and I get to talking to Porter, and he talks about some of Casey and you and some of these old, those of y'all that have grown up to be adults now, and back when y'all were kids and riding and racing, and he sees them going into the Hall of Fame. The dude can't keep it together. He breaks down. He just sobs and is like, Chris, you don't understand. These aren't tears of, sadness. I'm just so happy that these people still allow us to be in their lives, and we get to put them on something where they're going to be idolized forever, enshrined, not idolized, but enshrined forever, and always be a part of the Texas BMX Hall of Fame. We get these big banners, and we make these life-size banners of all the Hall of Famers, and we put them up at our track up under the big top. They've been there since we took over. That was the first change I made, was making life-size banners of all the Hall of Famers, and they're up permanently.
I was going to ask if anybody has ever done that, and that should be done. That's awesome.
We have a Hall of Fame, and actually on the outside wall is all the Hall of Fame riders. Every single one of them, except for this year's, because I've got to get a lift to get out there and put it up. But on the inside, on this other wall, we have our current pros, our vet pros. I got a big one set up for our two. Each year we have a girl and a guy rider that are our premier amateur riders for the year. The first year, Billy Russell wasn't a pro yet, so it was him and Natalie Darty.
Okay.
They were my two amateur premier riders, and we put theirs up, and then the next year Billy went pro, but he stayed up there because once you go up there, you're not coming down.
Gotcha.
You made it there, and you're part of the history of DeSoto BMX, and it has years and all that stuff put on there. Cameron Wing right there, him and Trinity Stofflet. There are two amateur riders for the year, and we choose those. And this is something, if you and Richard, y'all ever want to tag in on something like that, to just be attached to these awesome human amateurs, it's not about them going out there and being on the top of the podium every race. It's about them being good people, going out there representing our track. And if they go to a national in Florida, California, Minnesota, Houston, wherever they go, I want people that don't know about DeSoto to say, oh, That's the product that comes out of there.
Absolutely.
They're good human beings. They don't necessarily have to be the fastest. I want them to just to be respectful, good people. That's it.
You know, and that's, as track operators, I've been around a track operator. I've never been one. I actually used to help out at DeSoto a lot prior to the indoor. And been around it. And as a track operator, that's your guys' enjoyment.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people don't understand it. Yeah, you love working on the dirt. You love, like, it takes a different person to work with that dirt and know the chemistry of it. But then you get to see the riders that come out of it. And of course, you know, when you see a kid causing trouble, you're ashamed by that kid. When you see a kid doing an awesome job, picks up another kid off the ground, you know, it brings warmth to your heart.
Yes.
So and it's just like me as a team manager. People wondered if I didn't like racing anymore, and it's like, well, you don't understand. Now I got I got tiers for 10 riders, or the joy of 10 riders. So
Yes.
you've got it for 150 riders. You know, you're magnified by what you're around, and it's an amazing feeling. I'm not gonna lie.
And also on them other banners that we have up, I have trying to find the right picture to do, but there's 2 riders that were at DeSoto and in Texas for a long period of time. Kyle Bennett. I was able to get him up. I've got him up in a special spot on the track. KB88. Got Kyle Bennett up there in this beautiful picture, and I didn't want to put it alone, so I just kind of stuck it right in there with current riders where he could. I don't know, I'm weird. I was just kind of like, throw him in there, and that way he can look over all these current riders that are throwing down. And
you know, you got all these amazing riders, but he is probably the most amazing rider.
Butter, baby. Butter. Denison Smith. I got to get him. He's about to go up there. He's probably going to watch over the other side of the riders on this side of the building, and just kind of put them all together. And I didn't want to put much information on there at all. It just says Kyle Bennett and then 88.
Nice.
Like, if you know, you know. And if you're meant to know the history, then you will learn that.
And you know, yeah, exactly. If that one picture strikes curiosity,
yes,
you're gonna find out about
exactly. And he was so good, Kyle Bennett, that, you know, him making the stage as high as he did, he's enshrined in the history forever, no matter what. It's not just because of the tragedy. It's the fact of what he was able to accomplish and the lives that he touched in the process. You know, you can't talk to Donnie Robinson without the guy just crumbling.
Oh, yeah.
Best friends. And I get to spend a lot of time with Donnie now because of the BMX league and shooting ideas back and forth. And just to hear when he tells stories about what they did and traveled and just all the cool stuff. Just in a unique position, you know, even get to sit here and talk to you and Blaine and just all these awesome people. This sport, my goodness, there is no other sport where you're not going to go watch a Pee Wee football game and then go see the pros that play for the Cowboys out there playing catch with each other. So here, it's the top Olympians in the world with the 5 and under novice that started last week.
Yeah,
it's phenomenal.
So and I have to tell my KB story. You know, a lot of people
do it.
A lot of people don't have a lot of history. I don't have tons of history with him. You know, his stepdad, John Purse. You know, me and him battled for years. Looked up to him for years. Then I battled out with him. And at the time, I didn't even, you know, I knew John had married an older lady. Didn't know he had a stepson.
Yeah.
Go down to Houston to hang out with him, and he's like, we're riding his trails, and I just see this kid, 15 years old, just at trails in a backyard, and he's manualing trails all the way back to the ground, 6-foot lips. And I'm like, who the heck is that? And John Purse is like, that's my stepson, Kyle. And I'm like, what? So, you know, we get done riding that Friday. The next day is like, it's a state race down in Houston or whatever. And I look up, and there's Kyle. He's racing like 14 intermediate or something, and not even making a main event. Here we are. We're talking about 14-year-old intermediate that had the best skills of anybody in the world.
Yep.
And couldn't get out of his own way. And then fast forward it 5 years later, he's at the Vans Triple Crown.
It's unbelievable.
At the Vans Triple Crown and making the mains with all the elites, not even an elite pro himself yet. I think he had just turned a pro. Just did it because he was tired of riding with the amateurs. And then goes off and has one of the best pro careers you can ever imagine. And it's just crazy to think that that's the same kid I watched, and I idolized him because of his skills.
Yes.
Not because he was the best rider out there.
Yep.
And then he turned out to be one of the best.
And
so
back before he passed away, if he walked up and I was with Casey or anything, he wouldn't say, "Oh, hey Chris, how you doing?" We didn't know each other.
Yeah.
We did not have a personal relationship whatsoever. But the stories that I hear all the time, I really wished I would have had that opportunity. You know, Leland and Chad Hill. You know, the legend Leland Hill, another Texas BMX Hall of Famer. He has so many stories about Kyle, and I've never heard one where the person wasn't done talking about that human and just either in tears or just laughing their butt off and he was a phenomenal human being, not just, he was the best rider on the planet, but he was also even a better dude.
Yeah, one of the nicest guys. We obviously, through Tangent, we've dealt with them at business-wise also.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, you got, and not every pro, but most of those pros, you know, they just walk up, hey, I need a set of handlebars. You know, I need this, I need that. You know, they just, not necessarily expect it, but they just say it with a different tone. And he'd come up to us like, hey, TJ, I really hate to bother you with this, but you know, like, could I get a new pair of grips? Like, yeah, butter, no problem. Like, how many you need? I just need one right now. You know, like,
that's awesome.
He was a great guy. He was always, you know, typical Texan, soft-spoken, always polite, always appreciative. Couldn't ask for a better person to lead this sport.
That was something pretty cool that they had at the BMX Hall of Fame this year too. The Texas Hall of Fame brought his bike out.
Yeah, two of them.
Yeah.
Yes. The last bike that he ever rode was sitting there. I got to kind of look at it.
Yeah, I believe Hunter Pelham has that bike, right?
I believe
so. I think that's who brought it out.
I believe so. And they had both of his bikes, his signature bike that he was on, and then they had the last bike that he rode. The free agent. There was a free agent bike, and I can't remember.
I think the other one was a Redline.
Okay, yeah, Redline and free agent. But man, it was after hearing those stories and hearing all of that stuff, and then seeing those bicycles, and after making the picture we did to put him up in this, I'll look at that and I'll look at that, and it's just like, man. Like, we missed out, but yeah. I'm so glad to be able to be a part of hearing these stories and the memories that people have. And I mean, even just a little sliver that we get is phenomenal. It sounds like y'all had a hell of a relationship. So,
you know, it was cordial. I mean, I was living in California at the time. You know, I did get to meet him as a kid.
Yeah.
But shortly after I moved to California, so I didn't get to like know him. I don't know him like Donnie Robinson does. But, you know, the memories I do have and what I have got to know, it's definitely lasting.
Nice.
And, you know, I cried the day that I heard the news, and for a long time after, you know, I see a lot of people come and go in the sport, and unfortunately the position I'm in, I don't get touched by a lot of them, but I feel bad for all of them. But yeah, he did, you know, he touched my heart, and I'm glad he's up there watching over all of us.
Well, that's just super awesome. Well, ladies and gentlemen, once again, we are here. 2018 Grand Nationals, greatest race on this planet. Here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Grand's going down. It's a Thursday afternoon. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. We're sitting here. It's all-day practice. We got the Rock tomorrow, and then Grand's kicks off on Saturday, and then boom, we roll into Sunday. It's going to be a long, awesome weekend. Going to be action-packed. These titles, man, I can't wait to watch some pro racing on Saturday night.
They're going to be going for it.
Mag 5 Challenge and everything USABMX is throwing down. Once again, want to thank them for allowing us to use this stage. And TJ Johnson, man, listen, you've been in the sport since 1988. You rode out at Bruton Road, DCC, Dallas County Cycle Park, DCCB 2, as you call it. So, man, you've got a long history in this sport, and you work for one of the premier brands and names in the sport. This has been one of the longest conversations you and I had ongoing, because we've talked quite a bit. But, man, thank you for just being you and who you are and what you've done and what you continue to do in the sport.
You know, and I think a lot of that comes from being born or raised in Texas. I was born in Illinois. But again, to do the Texas BMX, and as a kid, you guys deal with it to this day. Most of your companies are either East Coast, West Coast. There's not a lot in the center of the United States, so you get a different upbringing, and you get to see a different way of how BMX really is and what it's like. Then I've gone to the West Coast, and I've tried to bring some of that over. But being a part of DeSoto, I've done pretty much. And it's funny, I talk with ABA a lot, and I'm probably one of the few people who have done almost every aspect of BMX. I've been the novice, the intermediate, the expert, the pro, the vet pro. I've run a company. I've run a bike shop. I've co-managed a track. Back when DeSoto was outdoor. Yeah. That nobody ever remembers. Yep. I've worked with the dirt. I've worked with pretty much every aspect, and I do get to communicate with BMX or USABMX quite a bit on that, and it whether they take everything I say or not, we don't know, but
well, they should listen to TJ Johnson.
At least listen to it. I don't care if you implement it or you do it. Sometimes I'm blinded. Sometimes I see something at a different angle.
Yep.
I don't see the tracks that only have 5 motos. I've been pretty blessed at the tracks I'm around that have been at least 20 motos or more on a local night that have a little bit of income coming in. So I do hear feedback, but I have traveled many of these tracks and get to see a lot of it, and I've had a pretty blessed career in the BMX scene as far as it goes, and being able to stay doing what I love.
Well, it's just going to get bigger and better. It's going to move on. We're going to concentrate on 2018 Grands, but moving into 2019, yes, at DeSoto BMX under the big top of DeSoto, Texas. 2019 Super Nationals, April 5th, 6th, and 7th, and we're going to roll in our state championship in the latter part of the year. I'm telling you, we're going to top $16,000. I'm shooting for 20, but guaranteed minimum 16 grand. Tangent's going to be in the house. You're going to have your Super Pro-Am race going down under the big top. And listen, TJ, I promise you, you'll want to come back the year after. I'm not going to let you down, brother.
I know you won't let us down. And I'm thinking we got one of the best webcasters here. I'm thinking the whole
Blaine
thing
Graham, I'm telling you,
be webbed out.
Blaine Graham doesn't play.
Grindel's going to be there, so you're going to have a relax. I think you're going to be doing this type of thing with all the pros.
I would love to.
We have to set up a stage. You have to be front and center. Give the kids there's something to do.
Yes.
Something to see.
Let the kids ask some questions.
You've seen our Pro-Am autograph sessions.
Yes.
Those go on. We literally have to stop the races now. They go on so long. Like there's a pause now. Like we used to just roll right through and keep it going. We're like, okay, pros, just hang out for 30 minutes. We'll have you out there. No, the whole track, the moms, the dads, the grandmas, the grandpas, they want those signatures. They want
it's going to be
everything.
A big deal.
That is going to be big, yeah.
And, I want because it is technically your Texas State Final. We need to have a poll, for a good 3-4 months of what pros they want to see there.
Okay.
And we are going to work extra hard. Tangent, DeSoto, USABMX, we're going to make them all work extra hard to get at least the top 3 guys that everybody wants to see there.
And I know every single one of them, and this is a hell of a weekend for us to be able to talk to them, too, and kind of start put the taste in them. Hey, if you want a part of $20,000, you might want to make plans to be in Texas in August. And, of course, we'll look at the dates. But, man, when we put out 20 grand, I don't think there's a pro here that couldn't use a little. So and if they think they got a shot and they think they can come and handle Billy Russell at DeSoto BMX, they need to come throw.
Right.
Shaylin Reno and the girls. Oh, my goodness.
You guys got some top dogs that are local there, and I'm ready to watch them use their local talent to beat up on everybody.
And I tell you this, DeSoto BMX is open Monday night for practice, Wednesday night practice, Friday night, and Saturday night racing, okay? If that gate is open, Billy Russell and Shaylin Reno are on that track. If they're not at a race somewhere else, listen, they're younger. I don't agree with everything. And I do have my little spiffs with them, but I love them. I love them to death. And those people are on the track. And anything that happens here this weekend, if it's a good result, I'm going to tell you right now, it wasn't handed to them. They worked their their butts off for it.
Oh, you dang right they did. I mean, I see him there all the time. And
I'm proud of my pros.
And when he's not in school, Alex there.
Alex Bob,
dude,
unbelievable.
There's very few people in this world that can go through that rhythm section of yours like he can.
Alec Bob makes me
I love watching those
absolutely
videos.
sick. That kid is so smooth that it's just unbelievable. And he's gone, at college. And I apologize for not mentioning his name a little bit sooner. But, dude, Alec Bob is phenomenal.
He is. You guys have had some amazing riders that have come out of that whole place.
Denzel Stein,
Steve Veltman.
Yep, Steve Veltman.
Todd Slavic.
Oh, the cowboy.
Chris Ham. I mean, Zach Roebuck.
Justin Wheat.
Where do we stop? I mean, you throw out the history of DeSoto, Dallas County Cycle Park, the Metroplex. Oh, it's
insane.
I'm getting goosebumps, dude.
Yeah,
I
did too.
These guys. I remember the Hall of Fame sending me a letter saying, "Hey, fill this out. You've been nominated." I'm like, nah. Like, there's so many people that deserve that before I ever go. I don't think I should ever be in a Hall of Fame for being a rider. That's for darn sure.
Well, I think, but see, there's going to be those of us that disagree. Especially with what you do in the industry today. I think as a whole, from riding as an amateur to your pro to your vet pro career, and then still being in the industry, I want you to fill that thing out because I think you should be in the Hall of Fame, and it would be my absolute honor and privilege to hang your banner up and it be there forever.
I'd be happy to be in as an industry guy. Like I said, I had a mediocre career. It wasn't anything to. It got cut short for knee surgery and knee injuries, but I've been in the sport. I've been in the industry. I think I've done a lot in the industry. I feel more proud of my industry part than my riding part. Like I said, I've helped out at DeSoto when I was outdoors, raking the dirt, doing all that. That's where my pride and joy comes from. Yeah. Racing's awesome. I was able to walk away from the racing part, still be proud and hold my head up high, but I feel I've done more the last 20 years than I did the first 10.
Well, listen, ladies and gentlemen, TJ Johnson, Tangent. I mean, dude, we got the USABMX Grands going on. I mean, you got thousands and thousands of people coming through your shop up there. So I know y'all are going to be busy all weekend. Once again, I can't thank you enough for taking the time to come down and hang out with us and us being able to get everything hammered out. Of course, we'll get all the particulars done. But, man, I'm just super stoked to be a part of that. And you allowing DeSoto to be a part of Tangent and throw down with the big pro race. It's going to come down State Championship 2019. Our 20th anniversary is going to be absolutely insane. And, man, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you guys for having me, man. It's been awesome. Like you said, we've been trying to do this forever. We finally got to do it, and I'm excited.
Well, and here's one quick thing. I'd like to get this printed on a T-shirt and sell it at Tangent, and it's how I end. Every time that I have any ability to get out there live and talk to anybody whatsoever, I want to spread some serious business in BMX as a whole, and I wish people would just do that in their lives. And that is, when you're out there and you see somebody down, lift them up and give somebody a hug. It'll make you a better person. If we can get that put on a shirt and get these kids wearing that and actually believing in that and practicing that, we're doing what we're supposed to do.
Absolutely.
So, ladies and gentlemen, TJ Johnson, Blaine Graham, myself, Chris Allen, here at the Grants 2018 Tulsa, Oklahoma. We'll be back with you here in just a little bit. Peace. All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, we've got our second guest, and I cannot wait to introduce this gentleman. We are here at the USABMX 2018 Grand Nationals, Tulsa, Oklahoma. We're here on Thanksgiving Day. Happy Thanksgiving to each and every one of you fine human beings. And, man, it's practice day. Tomorrow, The Rock. We got the Grands kicking off Saturday. It's going to get large and in charge. And this gentleman I want to introduce real quick. I've talked about him a little bit here and there because I'm just a big fan, and it's awesome to sit next to you and finally get to have you on Chris's Corner. Eric Grindle, the main man. He's large and in charge each weekend. Most USA BMX Nationals.
A lot of them.
A whole bunch of them.
A whole bunch. I did, I think 17 this year.
Yes, sir.
So,
yeah, I heard you mention that earlier,
yeah,
and that kind of blew me away.
Yeah. The 17 national weekends on top of a lot of local stuff, local state series in Northern California. I try to get to all the tracks if I can, if I'm in town, not on my national weekends, and then our Tangent Pro-Am series, of course.
Yes.
11 stops this year. Two or three stops of which were not in California this time. We were in Nevada twice, and we were out in Wisconsin.
Wisconsin was legit, dude.
I'm telling you, man.
That was a legit show.
And on top of Wisconsin, not to mention, we did the Tangent Pro-Am out there. I got to announce the Wisconsin State Finals while I was there too. So I mean, that was another bonus for me, and hopefully it was a bonus for all the folks out there in Wisconsin.
Well, and that's actually going to lead into a little something here. You told the story a little bit ago, and I don't want you to have to say too many redundant things or get bored with anything. But before we get into that, you and I just looked at a piece of paper, and where you were just talking about announcing the Wisconsin State Finals in the Tangent Pro-Am. Hey, once again, we just talked to T.J. Johnson a little bit ago, got things hammered out. We're going to have a minimum $16,000, but I'm going to open my mouth, insert foot. We're going $20,000 minimum at DeSoto BMX under the big top in DeSoto, Texas. Everything's bigger in Texas, and by God, that's how I'm going to run at this.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm going to pull this off, but guess what? It will happen.
I have faith in you. I've seen what you've been doing out there with the program already. You get everybody involved, and you put on a big show like that. It brings you put that kind of money out there. What it does is it brings in some top name riders, some of the big boys that are be out here in the main events this weekend. You get those guys out there. The race fans want to be a part of it. A lot of businesses seem to want to be a part of that as well. It's all about the kids. I mean, it's not about me. It's not about it's not about us anymore. We're old. No. I'm an old guy, man.
Yep.
I mean, I'm a race fan to start with, and then I love being a part of the sport and doing what I do and getting to travel around and meet everybody and be involved with all these races. It's a blessing.
And with that being said, I mean, that's our state championship weekend. And to have Eric Grindle, the man Grindle, at my state championship, this is not, I mean, yes, you do nationals. I've been super fortunate as an operator. As my second year as an operator, I had a super national. Yep. Things just didn't work out for everybody coming in, and Chris called me up and said, "Hey, would you like a shot?" Yeah, I messed it up good. Jen poked me in the eye with one of them fingernails and was like, "Hey, you better straighten it up."
Right.
But no, they're so phenomenal to give me that opportunity to let me announce my own national, and that feeling. I don't know how many operators have had a super national and then they announced it, especially in these later. As of late.
Sure.
And I felt kind of like special for that one weekend. I was like, man, I wonder how many operators get this opportunity. And like I had mentioned to you, it was easier than going to a national and stepping into somebody's shoes like yours or Mr. Greg Harrison, whom I absolutely adore.
Right, yeah. Love Greg.
Matter of fact, I haven't seen him yet. He's going to be here, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But just to get to do that, I don't know. It was super cool, and what's going to happen this weekend on Saturday? Just I don't know. We'll let that happen when it happens. I don't want to say anything about it. I don't want to jinx anything. But my dreams are coming true this weekend. I mean, I'm sitting here with you. We're right here. We're getting ready for pro practice. USABMX Grands 2018. Got my ride or die right here, Mr. Blaine Graham from Magnolia, Texas. His boy Riley Graham. He's going to be throwing down this weekend.
Nice.
And man, there's going to be some really, really good racing going down. And I know these titles are up, and I mean the points are just. Oh.
It's so tight. I mean, with George is the top of the heap, but like we were talking earlier about Corbin. I mean, Corbin's still got a shot.
Mm-hmm.
It comes down to tomorrow night, and then Corbin comes up, tops out on something tomorrow night. It's a game changer. And
I hate to.
How many points is he behind?
About 10 points.
Yeah, it's not.
Oh, yeah, that is tight.
So it's tight. It's tight. It's coming right down. It literally comes right down to the rock. What happens tomorrow night is really going to be a deciding factor on that title.
It's going to be won or lost this weekend.
Right.
I mean, that is one of the cool structures of our sport, and the points and what people can make and what they can't make. And oh my goodness, I'm just super excited. All the way down to the 5 and unders, our balance bike track over here.
Oh man, the 5 and unders that's some of the best races ever. When we get 5 and under novice riders at the local levels, when you get into like semis and stuff like that. That's where the sport's doing well. When you've got those little guys and you get a good group. I don't know how your guys' program is out there. I know some of the tracks around my area. We'll come up on a Saturday night race and it's 5 and unders. They've got semis.
Yes.
Almost always.
We get close to it, and as of late, after we've done some of the construction with the gate and some of the stuff at the facility, yes, that is growing. And but even the balance bikes, when I'm having to have semis and balance bikes,
right?
Oh my goodness! You just know that next year when they move up to them bikes,
yes,
there's your 5 and under novice class right there. So you kind of have a preview each year of what your new classes are going to be. And
right.
Well, now with the racing league coming in, I mean, the
dude,
sport is like it's never been. I mean,
we don't have time to get on the racing league because I'm just going to get on my soapbox about that awesome
I'm
program.
telling you, yeah, my other track operator buddy, Jeremy Rassi from out in Mendocino, Ukiah, Rusty Bull BMX. He had, because of the fires that we had out there in Northern California, one of his beginner league days, he had to cancel a day. He was getting ready to leave for the Grands. He had to stay Saturday, run his beginner league, and he stayed all day to run his beginner league Saturday and didn't leave until after that beginner league was done to come out here to the Grand. So, I mean, what all you guys, all you track operators that are involved with that beginner league now, I mean, it's definitely going to change the structure of the sport. We're going to get a lot more people involved. The STEM programs we've got going on with USABMX now,
yes,
and all the foundation stuff that's going down, it's really just, it seems to be ramping up and taking off. Donnie Robinson really, dude, he started something, and I mean, he started a wildfire there.
Him and Mike, you know, they put their heads together, and what they come up with, that this beginner league, and I was talking to John David and a couple others earlier. There's going to be a lot of people put their heads together because we've got to come up with a way to let every single operator out there know that runs a track, whether it's a group of them or an individual operator or a husband and a bride, like my situation where I'm super fortunate to have my co-operator be my best friend.
Yeah.
And but this has to turn into, because of what is offered, it has to turn in the new standard of how we introduce these young people to BMX, no matter how old they are. If they're a beginner, they need to get in this program because it's your fundamentals without being kicked into something to where you're so intimidated that you end up with a bad taste in your mouth. Let's make it right and make you competitive from day one till the end. And I'm so... man, I just, the BMX league to me is the most important thing that we have in our sport right now, is the beginner league, and it's such a real thing. It's a tangible deal, and it's not about money. Nope. I want some of these operators that have approached me and said, hey, man, it's just a way to... No, it is not. You need to be a part of this because it grows you as a human. And I'm not a coach. I've never raced a bike. I married a girl who did, and these kids come up to me and... You're my coach. What do I need to do? Oh, hey, Chris. Oh, hey, it's Chris, my coach. And it's them relationships that are built. They're real. Yep. And by goodness, if we don't attach ourselves to that and touch as many lives as we're supposed to, we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing.
Exactly.
And from the operator side. Now, but that BMX league, it's a whole different thing, and I can't wait to help these phenomenal people in the USA BMX and Donnie and Mike and everybody that's involved and help them grow it from, maybe I'll have a perspective that they didn't quite see.
Sure.
And keep pushing it up and higher and get it everywhere. I want it to be the new standard of how people come in at every track.
Right.
And there's got to be a happy medium there somewhere that will allow that to happen.
Well, you just look at like the sheer numbers that Donnie's talking about of bringing in new kids. That tells you the health of this sport is really getting good.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's coming back.
A lot of kids that are, I don't know, have we heard numbers yet for this year?
I'm not sure. I know I see Donnie posting in Napa Valley BMX all the time, where he's at, and I'll tell you, the numbers of kids, he's got 40 or 50 kids out there for beginner leagues, and then they finish up the league, and then all of a sudden they start racing, and then they start moving up. And I've caught them, a few of them coming through and going to national races and doing well. All of a sudden, just out of nowhere, they just started, and man, it's just I don't know what else to say, but other than it's just it's an amazing program, and it's working.
And I'll tell you, we'll get on to another subject, because I know you've got pro practice starting. I know you got to get out there and kind of get people tasted up and give them a little taste of what they're about to get. But sometime throughout 2019 or 2020, either way, we're going to do a surprise Saturday night, and that's where I fly you and your bride to the Dallas-Fort Worth. We'll get hooked up with Southwest Airlines, something cheap. We'll get something figured out, but they're never going to know it but then they're going to show up for a Saturday night at DeSoto BMX when you're not at a national, just some, they're going to jump out. Boom, Grindle going to be on the mic Saturday night, just going to freak them out. That would trip everybody out.
That would be a good time.
We'll try to sneak something up on somebody in the next couple of years.
Sure.
But listen, Mr. Grindle, didn't mean to take up too much of your time.
Hey.
I appreciate you coming on with us here at Chris's Corner. And something that I like to say, and I want everybody to know that you back it up, and that is anytime that I have an opportunity to get anybody's ear or have any kind of influence on any of these young, impressionable lives, I want people to grow and lift people up. Don't focus on negative. Always just in any negative that we see, find the positive in it. Let's push and promote that, and just help grow people, because I really believe that's what your and my job is. I'm on a local level, you're on a national level, and just love what you do. I love looking up to you. You've never disappointed, never let anybody down, and just seriously, thank you for giving me that next thing to shoot for.
Right.
And like you said to one guy one day, and I'm going to say it to you today, one day, I'm taking your job.
Hey, man.
I'm just kidding. That was a joke.
Bring it on. Bring it on.
Never.
Come on down. Let's do it.
Man, thank you for everything that you and your bride put into the sport, and all the traveling and what you do to make memories for all these kids and even all the pros when they get to go back and listen to this, because you're an absolute. It's a blast to listen to your races.
Thanks.
I just love it.
I can't count how many. I mean, I could probably go back on my phone right now, and just about every BMX video I have in there, you're on the mic.
It's
that's
awesome.
awesome.
I mean, it's what made me want to do it. Him and Jim Riley, and I've told that story, and I'll tell it again sometime. But yeah, first time to the track ever, it was Jim Riley, and now it's just those are the two names, Grindle and Riley, is what I hear. Plus, and Greg Harrison.
Yeah.
I don't want to leave him out, because his winner chicken dinner gets me.
Oh man, yeah, he's got some lines. He's got some stuff.
But
they
but
do
anyway,
a little different in Georgia, I guess.
we look forward to having you out for the Tangent Pro-Am.
Absolutely.
That's going to be a phenomenal, huge, dumb weekend.
That's going to be great.
That's going to be killer. And we look forward to listening to you all weekend long, bringing us the 2018 USA BMX Grands here in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
You bet.
Man, good luck. God bless you, and thank you so much.
Hey,
and
thanks for having me
that
on,
quote
finally.
real quick that I'd love to hear everybody else just wrap onto and take it out there. Anytime you have any a chance to get out there and influence anybody's lives, when you're out there and you see somebody down, you lift them up.
Up.
Give somebody a hug. It'll make you a better person.
Yep.
God bless y'all.
Just like my friend Mucho Jones likes to say, hugs and high fives.
Hugs and high fives,
There
baby.
you go.
That's how we do it. All
Yep.
right, let's do some BMXing.
All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna head on out to the pro setup and talk some smack on those guys.
Let's do it. We'll be listening. Thank you, Mr. Grindle.
All right, thank you guys.